Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Well, this article was sent to me by Backyard Politics. Please check out her show. She has a fantastic YouTube show covering mainly stuff that is going on in Oregon, specifically Salem police, Salem, Oregon police protecting Proud Boys, the Portland police, and all the mayhem that's going on there. Well, look what just happened in Oregon. Everybody's preparing. Oregon Governor Kate Brown will declare emergency ready National Guard ahead of the election. This just came out Monday, November 2nd. In the second time in 2 months, Brown has used an emergency declaration to prepare for possible political violence in Portland. Brown announced Monday that she'd use her authority to declare an emergency from 5 p.m. Monday until 5 p.m. Wednesday. It's the second time in 2 months that the governor has declared an emergency in preparation for possible violence. In this case, Brown and law enforcement officials said they will guard against efforts to dissuade people from casting ballots. I want to be very, very clear that voter intimidation and political violence will not be tolerated. Brown said, not from the left, not from the right, and not from the center. Not this week, not any week in Oregon. The emergency declaration allows Brown to rejigger the command structure among law enforcement entities responding to unrest in Portland. Rather than the Portland Police Bureau, which would typically take the lead, response will be co-managed by the Oregon State Police and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. The arrangement is in part a way to allow law enforcement to use crowd control devices such as CS gas, a type of tear gas, which Portland police have been prohibited from using. Wow. So after all the George Floyd protests in Portland, and the Portland protests went on for months, they passed a law saying you can't use this. Well, what a convenient thing. Ramping everybody up. There's going to be violence. So now we get to use these banned weapons. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Portland police have been prohibited from using by Mayor Ted Wheeler. Both state police and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office have expressed concern about responding to tense situations without the ability to use gas to disperse crowds. Oh, it's so hard to be a jackboot cop, and you only get to shoot people with rubber bullets and beat the crap out of them with sticks. You don't get to shoot them with gas, a chemical weapon. You know, the thing that we bombed Syria for because apparently Assad gassed his own people, which has been proven to be false. But that was enough, just a hint that maybe that was true, was all we needed to bomb him. So does another country get to bomb the Portland State Police? Brown is also directing the Oregon National Guard to place troops on standby in case they are needed. They want to impose martial law tomorrow. They can't wait. They hope it goes off the grid. And private intelligence is in these white nationalist Trump groups to stir up violence, and they're on Antifa. They're on both sides. That's what private intelligence does. They get involved in all sides to keep everybody divided, distracted, and afraid. So they're hoping it gets nuts so they can clamp down with martial law. The governor's been extremely reticent to use the Guard during months of unrest in Portland, but troops were prepared to respond during the most contentious nights of protest this summer. Ultimately, the Guard was only used to protest response once this summer, and even then, troops were not on the streets engaging with demonstrators. We are primarily in a supporting role. That's how they're going to be used. Preparations come as Portland and cities throughout the country brace for fallout from an election with little precedent. With a record number of Americans voting by mail due to the coronavirus, President Donald Trump has repeatedly sought to cast doubt on any electoral outcome in which he's the loser. Rhetoric that could further inflame tensions, particularly if the results are tight. While Portland is a liberal bastion guaranteed to heavily favor Democratic Vice President Joe Biden, the city in recent years has reportedly been the target of right-wing groups. These are called domestic terrorists. Stop calling them militias and right-wing groups. They're domestic terrorists. Call them what they are. They're domestic terrorists who have held rallies and at times spilled over into open violence. At the same time, demonstrators against racial injustice have repeatedly led to property destruction by a smaller number of people. There is no evidence that voting by mail is not secure lends itself to easy voter fraud, as Trump has claimed. Trump's a crazy narcissist liar. He's a cokehead. Like all cokeheads are filthy liars. I want to be really clear that voter intimidation, disrupting, blocking access to ballot drop sites, preventing people from casting their ballots, any violence before or after the election will not be tolerated. It'd be great if she just like went out and just cleaned up all these right-wing nationalist groups, these alt-right, just take out the Proud Boys and whatever else. The far-right group Proud Boys claimed it was bringing tens of thousands of people to a rally in North Portland. Round them up. They're a terrorist organization. If ISIS was setting up doing this, would we allow them to just give them their freedom of speech? They're Nazis. Fuck them. We fought the Nazis in World War II. I had two uncles that fought Nazis in World War II. By handing control to the state police superintendent and county sheriff, Brown has been able to work around concerns that those agencies would not be able to use tear gas to disperse crowds. They just said, God, she just can't wait to use tear gas. Law enforcement needs the tools at times to keep Oregonians safe and protect property. No, you want to shoot citizens with banned weapons. That's what that is. The emergency arrangement produced an unexpected wrinkle in September when more than 50 Portland police officers were deputized as federal agents, a designation that allows federal prosecutors to pursue more serious federal charges against demonstrators. Snatching up people in unmarked vans. That was put into place by the NDAA, was signed by Obama in December of 2011. Right? Aren't the Democrats great? I thought only the Trump and I thought only Republicans did bad things. City officials were caught off guard when they learned that the deputations would last until the end of the year rather than a matter of days. Because if you deputize a state cop, local cop, state, whatever, city cop into a federal agent, now the federal agent can use the NDAA. They could just round people up. They don't need due process. They don't need a search warrant. They can just, and they're hoping all the violence goes off the grid tomorrow so they can just martial law and just kick down your door. So to keep you safe, we found a loophole to use tear gas against Portland. We're circumventing the mayor and what the people of Portland want, and now we can use tear gas. And we're deputizing local cops so they can just do whatever the hell they want, like a federal cop can. Put a black bag over your head, throw you in the back of a van, maybe take you to a CIA black site like we do to terrorists. There's your rights, America. Wasn't the Patriot Act great? The fact the Patriot Act is still in place and the Democrats have helped continue to. When Obama expanded the surveillance state that was put in place by war criminal George Bush, who lied about weapons of mass destruction. And now it's basically Obama gave Trump a dictator's handbook. And Trump is a horrible jackass. He's a fascist. This is what America is, kids. We need a general strike. We need to shut it down. We need to let the powerful people know what's up. That's what we got to do. I don't know what else. I don't know what else. I hope election day isn't too nuts. I hope it doesn't completely collapse. I hope it's just a support what we do with the show so I can cover stuff that the mainstream media is not covering. The mainstream media is not going to talk about that loophole that I just read. Right? And what the deputization meant. Even that article wasn't in there. Support what we do. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. And we have a Venmo account. We have a PayPal button and a lot of great ways to support the show. Listen to the podcast on iTunes and like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Thanks for watching. Boom.